Hello everyone and welcome to today's analytics beginner capsule. I'm going to be covering how to build a table widget, which is a type of widget in Borealis. We're ready to now select our type of widget because we figured out the form that we want to select from, which was step 1. Now step 2, we're going to pick our type of widget. And the first one I want to introduce to you again is the table widget. It's really good for lists and to manage data in table format. In order to select my type of widget, I do need to, again, expand the type menu here. You do see we have a lot of different types you can select from. These will be covered in later capsules. We are going to focus today on the table widget. Once it's selected, and we again have our correct form, we want to pull a list of our meetings that we've had. Meetings are correspondence logged in the communications form. We're able to just hit next and it will open up our menu to start customizing our first widget. The first thing you need to do is give your widget a title, something meaningful, especially if you want other users to use it because they need to be able to search this title. Now, I've given this widget the title List of Meetings, and the next thing we have to do is now select the access. So again, if it's private, only you or certain users, mainly super users, will be able to see it. But if you set it to public, everybody will be able to see it and use it as well in their own reports. I'm going to want to share this with other people. I'm going to set this to public just so everybody can see it. Now, the properties area here is where most of the editing is going to be done on this table widget. As you can see, this is where we're going to add and remove most of our data that you see on the right-hand side view over here. So, for example, you see the title here and the title there. You see the origin here, the origin there. You see the location here, the location there, so on and so forth. So we can remove, add, or rearrange these as we want, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Maybe I want to remove one of these or a few of them. Maybe the origin of the communication and the location of where it happened isn't relevant, or as you can see, I'm not even recording the origin in my department. I have the option just to click the minus button here, which is the delete column option, and you'll see that it removes them as expressed in the view on the right-hand side. Now, if I wanted to add in a column or some data inside of my widget, maybe I want to add the subject categories or the date of the communication, for example, I can do that. And we're going to go to the communications form for a sec just to show you how. Okay, so here I am in the communications form, and for those following along, just make sure you're in the detailed view, like I am right here, so that you can see some of the fields available to us. In the example I just gave, maybe I want to find the date that the meetings or that these communications happened. I have the ability to reference fields in detailed view. So we can kind of say, okay, well, which field here is referencing the date of the communication? Oh, it looks like the date and time field would probably be the right one. So just remember date and time field. Now let's get back to our table widget and actually add this into it. When you're adding in columns to the table widget, you're actually just telling the system which fields to show and which data to show. So if I click here, add column, and I want to add the date and time of my communication, for example, I could just type in date, and it'll start pulling up a lot of different fields. But don't worry, we can still find the right one. It's really easy. Just make sure it is in the communications section. We can check the gray title here. That's right. That's the form we're in. And then just make sure the field name matches up. So if you remember, we had the date and time field. We're going to use the date and time field. Let's select it and see what happens. And you see it actually added in that data now. Let's go through one more example. Maybe I want to add in the staff members or internal people that participated in these meetings or communications. What I can do is I can go over to the communications section again, and I just need to scroll through and maybe find the field that the staff members are stored in. Well, it's really easy. I think I found it here. It's in the staff members field. These are the internal participants, as we know, of our communication. So if I go back here, I can click Add Column, and we'll just type in staff members like so. Go ahead and click that, and you'll see that it's added in the information. Now, another feature I want to show you is the ability to sort on some of the columns that are both visible in the table widget and invisible in the table widget. Let me show you. So maybe I want to filter in alphabetical order on the title. Well, I can do that here. I can add something called a sort column just by clicking on this menu or this button here. And you see it adds in something called a sort column. Now I could just select the field that I want to filter on. So in our example, we wanted to pick the title. So we could pick the title of the communication, and you see we could sort in ascending or descending order. And you could do this for most of the fields that you see here. You're also able to select fields that aren't visible. So for example, we could filter on the subject categories in alphabetical order, but you see we're not using it in our columns area, but I could still go here and search subject categories, and it'll filter the list of communications in alphabetical order based on the subject categories that are assigned to them. One more thing I want to show you is that we can rearrange the order that this appears in. So as you see, title appears on the left and at the top. So top to bottom is just here, left to right. So maybe I want the staff members first. All I need to do is just find this little rectangle here beside the column. Just drag it like so, and if I put it right above title, you'll see that now it comes first. And maybe I want the date and time in between title and staff member. Well, I could drop it there as well. If you did want to specifically see a list of your meetings or of a certain type of communication, you would use the filter section down here. I feel it's a little too advanced right now to cover in this video, but we do have the video covering both simple and dynamic filters in one of the next capsules coming. So look out for that, but we're going to skip over just getting into very specifics right now. But besides that, this list is done. This is a simple widget that we created here. When we're ready to hit save, we just click save. And that's our widget done and ready to go. Now that this widget's created, I do have a few options as well. I can duplicate it to make a copy and then edit it to not compromise this one. I can export it to Excel, and it will match the exact format, row and column-wise, that you see here in Excel. Tables are very good for making Excel exports or reports as well, if you do need to, and I can always adjust the access here as well. I'm even able to add this widget to a report if I so choose to, just by searching up the title as you saw before. And that's it for this video on table widgets, and we've just built our first simple widget. Again, doesn't filter or show anything specific, just a list of all of our communications. But if you did, again, want to see that specific list of meetings, we do have a video on filters in one of the future capsules. Thanks again for watching. Have a great one, and I'll see you in the next video.